Coffee and convo, y'all. Let's get it. Yo, shout out to everybody here in the building already. Salute to you guys. Welcome to the latest installments of Coffee and Convo. I am your host, Graphk Raider, man. Salute to everybody already here in the building. As I always say, thank you guys. You could be anywhere in the world, but you are here with me. Some new news with the whole Josh Jacobs situation. We're going to unpack that here shortly, but we're going to let everybody pile in. Shout out to Aunt Joe Nation, man. Alex, Ben Carr, Philip Vargas, Bobby Souls, Goat Meal TV. I see all my people here in the building, man. My coffee is ready to go. Let's get to chopping this fable, man. Let me see. Big Mo said they gave him his Southwest ticket. Salute to Big Mo, my dog, man. Shout out to Freight Train Tupac 100. Is Jacobs a Raider for life? We're going to talk about it, brother. We're going to talk about it soon. Make sure you guys wipe them feet, though, meaning hit them thumbs up. Also, hit that subscribe button, man. We're on our way to 20K, and we cannot do that without you guys. You already know what time it is. Shout out to my big bro, Chuck Taylor's in the building. The guy that made the intro, I always say, made my OakLosVegas logo, the Graphk Raider logo, all that good stuff, man. Make sure you reach out to our brother Chuck Taylor for any artwork, any visual work. My guy got you. Tell him Mount Shieldmore sent you, man. Salute to my dog. Let me see. Abstract Raiders in the building. Aaliyah is in the building. Junior. Justin Lawson. Shout out to everybody here in the building. Wade is in the building. Let's get it. We're already 100 deep in the chat, man. So last night, for those who do not know, Josh Jacobs has returned to the city of Las Vegas, Nevada. For those who also did not know, he actually had a youth camp yesterday at Sierra Vista High School. I believe he does it annually. I think this is like the third one he's done out there. Could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. It's the second or third annual camp that he does. And last night, right, I was on Instagram after our crazy live that we did last night. Shout out to Stu. Shout out to Shieldmore. Josh was posting some stuff. You know what I mean? And we know how Josh does, right? He kind of – sometimes it feels like he trolls a little bit. He does throw some stuff, you know what I mean, out there. But he did tweet this, right? Lord, thank you, forever grateful. This comes from Josh Jacobs, certified, Instagram page, where he was thanking God. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. This could definitely be stemming from helping those kids. I heard it was a very successful camp. I got some people out in the some locals out in the area that told me that it was a really good showing, and that Josh definitely enjoyed himself out there, tutoring the kids, showing them how to play the game of football, right? But also a few days ago, he put this up, right? 2 days ago, he put this up, Las Vegas Raiders team locker room, right? And he retweeted it. Well, didn't retweet it, but he put it in the stories from someone named Ombre Jordan. I believe he's like an artist or something like that. So he's kind of been hinting at a few things these past few days. Then he goes on to have an interview. I don't know if you guys seen this. I'm going to bring it up real quick. Shout to silverandblackpride.com. They covered it. I know we'll have something probably up on Planet Raiders today as well, but I want to go off of Silver and Pride. .com. You know, we always take care of our own over here at OakLosVegas Raiders Network. Let me present this real quick, you guys. Boom. 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 Let me see if you guys can see it. Yes. All right. So right here, Paloma Vlasakana. I don't know how to say the last name. I'm going to butcher it. But she does work for Fox 5 News. She tweeted out yesterday, Josh Jacobs tells me he's feeling great this offseason with no injuries. He feels explosive. I'm told by a source close to him that if a deal is not made between the Raiders and Josh Jacobs on Monday at 1 p.m., that's the franchise tag deadline, you guys, Jacobs will not be showing up for training camp. So there you have it. There's been a lot of question marks, right? If he was going to stand on this, not sure, you know, if he's going to stick to his guns. And I've said this before, if he does stick to it, respect. But it sounds as though his camp is putting it out there that he will not be showing up to training camp if there's if a deal is not done by 1 p.m. by the deadline on Monday. If you guys get a chance to go to Twitter, go on Bleacher Report. I don't even think it's on Bleacher Report anymore because they're not sharing any Twitter feeds on Bleacher Report. But go watch the video. Josh is really excited about the upcoming season. He says that this is pretty much his first season where his body is ready to go, right? Like he said at the end of the season last year, there was no bumps and bruises, no nicks. You know what I'm saying? He is ready to go. You know what I mean? And, you know, this could be some, boosting up his worth, you know what I mean? By, look, he needs a deal right now. He needs a deal right now. You know what I mean? And he's saying everything right now. He's telling everybody his body is ready. This is the most prepared he's been going into an NFL season in his career. And there's no bumps and bruises, no nicks. You know what I'm saying? He's saying everything right at this point. So all we can do, you guys, is sit back these next few days and wait and see if he stands on what he is saying, if he stands on what he's talking about. I'm going to repeat this real quick. Josh Jacobs tells me he is feeling great this offseason. No injuries. He feels explosive. And I got to tell you guys this, right? It's just a camp. It's just a football camp. But I'm going to tell you guys something. Go look at some of the stuff on his Instagram feed. He does look explosive. He was lined up as a receiver, kind of playing off, playing against the kids and all that stuff. He was looking really explosive on the football field. I'm going to be real with you guys. And like I said, I know this is a youth camp, but he was not playing out there. Josh is, he's certified, man. You know what I mean? Like he means business. And even with those kids, he was out there playing, at full speed. And he looked very, 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 very ready to go for this upcoming season, man. So you guys, if you get a chance to go to Josh Jacobs' stories on his Instagram, check out some of the stuff that he put up. But it looks as though he's ready to go, but it also sounds as though he is going to stand on what he is saying, that if the deal is not made by Monday, he will be sitting out beginning of the season. So there you have it. Q, that was my apologies last night, brother. My phone, my computer went down. I had to use my phone. I'd switched back from my phone to my computer, and instead of hitting the end button on my phone to get back on my laptop, I actually hit end broadcast. But to be honest with you, we were 2 hours in. Stu had something to do anyways, so it was time to go. You know what I mean? So, but my apologies for anybody that was watching the show last night and was like, yo, what the hell just happened? I accidentally hit the end button, but Stu had to go. He has some other stuff going on with the family. So salute to Q. Shout out to Eddie, man. I see you in the building. Shout out to Raider for Life. Last year, he started taking care of his body, hired a nutritionist and everything. Yes, facts. And he also has the homie, Jeff the chef, living in-house with him, taking care of him, feeding him right. You know what I mean? Like, Jeff, man, if you guys get a chance to, go follow my boy, Jeff the chef, man. Good dude. He actually is in-house with Josh. He travels with him everywhere. The food this guy be making, I can see why Josh is on his health kick and why he's ready to go, because this dude is eating some phenomenal food, man. Shout out to my dog, Jeff the chef, as always. R. Gonzalez says that Cougar verified he is explosive. Shout out to Gonzalez. Hilarious, man. Shout out to Paz. What's sad is our front office is refusing to pay up for a player who was the best in the league at his position. Well, we don't know that yet, Paz. We don't know that. We do not know if that's true. from what I'm feeling, and this is just going off of instinct, I feel as though they haven't gave him a deal. I'm gonna be real with you. So I'm agreeing with you, Paz, but there's no real news out there that has stated that we're refusing to pay him. There could be a deal on the table, let's say 10 million a year, right? 11 million a year. And Josh is saying that's not enough. We don't know what the hell is going on behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to jump on the narrative that they're refusing to pay one of our superstars because I just don't know. But going off of past recent history, seeing how New England operated with not paying a running back like that, seeing other teams, Dalvin Cook being kicked to the curb by Minnesota, and Ezekiel Elliott out of Dallas, and everything going on right now. It looks as though the Raiders are just following suit. They're just doing what every other team in the NFL is doing right now. It's just ours is coming off of a career year. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Paz, there was rumors all last year and not all last year, but this offseason that Tennessee was trying to, unload Derrick Henry's contract. You know what I mean? That to me is like wow, that's Derrick Henry. I get he's 29 years old, but bruh, that's Derrick Henry. But that should show you and tell you how expendable the running back position is at this point. If Tennessee is trying to get rid of one of the best running backs of this generation, you know what I mean? So, I just think the Raiders are just trying to play this safe. They probably do have a specific number in mind with what they want to pay him. I just don't know if Josh is willing to take that. But me personally, I feel as though maybe there is no deal on the table. I feel like they're going to franchise him this year. And if he doesn't accept it, maybe he gets traded. We move on from him. If he accepts the franchise tag, this is the thing that Josh has to understand, right? And I understand why Josh is going to be a little questionable as to why he would sign that franchise tag, right? They're probably going to franchise him again next year, you guys. Let's just say Josh goes out there and has another phenomenal year and ends up leading the league in rushing again. All this regime potentially may do is franchise him again. And yeah, the franchise may go up, or it may, I don't know, because they're not trying to pay running backs right now. Cody, I will call you right back, brother. Yo, I am live right now, brother. I'll call you back. All right, peace. Shout out to my brother Raider Cody, man. But yeah, man, like it's very, very scary for him to sign that franchise tag, knowing that this franchise can turn around and do the same thing to him again next year. It sucks, you know what I mean? And it definitely does. But once again, Paz, it's a business. Let me see. Blows my mind. Is he actually replaceable? I mean, look, I don't think you can easily just replace the best running back in the league. You know what I'm saying? But, this regime has shown in the past that they get it done by running back by committee. You know what I mean? And we have a slew of running backs that have different skill sets on this roster. Amir Abdullah, a guy that can get it done in the passing game. Zamir, a guy that can run the ball really well, and they'll probably end up getting him right in the passing game as well. Sincere McCormick, a guy that can run the ball, hard-nosed running back that's also underrated in the passing game. And then you have Brandon Bolden, a guy that can block and special teams and all that good stuff, right? So we have a little bit of everything in this running back room right now. The only thing we're missing is the best running back in the league. But I'm willing to bet that this regime is willing to bet on themselves and say, if Josh doesn't want to sign the franchise, cool, we'll keep it moving. But I'm going to say this. This team has shown that they want to keep Josh around, right? They put the franchise tag on him. Let's just keep it a buck, you guys. Like, no one's really talking about that. No one's really talking about Zeig and Josh McDaniels saying, oh, yeah, we want to put the franchise tag on Josh Jacobs. They could have moved on. They could have traded him in the offseason coming off a great season, you know what I mean, where he broke pretty much every record he had, in his young career. But they want him back. They franchised him. A lot of people are not talking about that. They decided on putting the tag on him and bringing him back when they could have just moved on from him. Or they could have allocated that $10.8 million and put it towards the defense, put it towards somewhere else. So at the end of the day, this regime is showing us that they want him. They're just not willing to give him an extension that everybody else feels he deserves, right? But they do want to keep him. So I think more people need to talk about that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we beat up, Josh McDaniels. We beat up Zeig, for them making this harder than what it needs to be. But at the end of the day, they threw a deal his way. They threw a deal his way. What else do you want? Shout out to Pace, man. Everyone keeps talking about Josh Jacobs and what he's going to do if they don't sign him. But Z could be saving a deal Josh Jacobs can't say no to if he doesn't accept what they're offering off top. I want to say this, Pace. This is the thing, right? I don't think there's a deal, because if there was a deal, why would they wait till the last second to get it done? Right? I know that they're, probably playing hardball with each other if there is a deal on the table. But why wait until literally the last seconds, of this situation to get it done? Like, I think if an extension was going to happen, it would have happened earlier. I don't know why they would wait until the 12th hour to get a deal done. To me, it makes no sense. I understand maybe they're looking at Saquon Barkley, and seeing what he wants to do, what he's going to do with his situation. Maybe they're looking around the NFL and saying, seeing what other guys are going to do with their respective ball clubs, right? But me, I'm like, why would you wait until the last second? I don't think there is a deal. I truly do not think there's a deal. I think they're saying, come on in on Monday, sign your franchise tag, and then maybe we can work on an extension from there. But until that point, and then don't come into the building. Because people tend to forget also, you can sign that franchise tag and then you can work on an extension. You can work on trying to get him back and sign him to a 2-3 year extension. But, a lot of people tend to just beat this regime up because they're not paying this guy what he wants or what we want him to get. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to kick back, man. We do not know the business side of what these guys got going on, man. Let me see. Yeah, Big Mo, it's a business. It's a business, man. And sometimes we have to sit back and just be fans and just say, okay, let it play out. Let it play out. Shout out to my dog, John, man. Could this be all solved to put language in his tag agreement to extend him next year based on milestones while playing this year? I mean, there's always creative ways, John, right, to get it done. But at the end of the day, man, Josh Jacobs just doesn't want to play on the tag. He doesn't want to play on the tag. And it makes all the sense in the world. You know what I'm saying? Because he can go into this year and get that guaranteed 10.8 and then tear a ACL, God forbid, or something bad happens to him and he's gone. And maybe his career is over. And then at that point, there's no guaranteed money outside of that franchise tag that 1 year. So he's looking at it from a standpoint of, I know what it takes to play at a high level in the NFL at the running back position. And I've been hurt most years outside of last year. You know what I mean? So he knows NFL, not for long. He knows at any point he can get hurt. So he wants more guaranteed money. And I understand him completely, but I don't think he would agree to the franchise tag with based on milestones and incentives and all that. I don't think there's no way in hell he would do that. I think that he wants to sign. If he signs the franchise tag, he just pretty much caved in. But if he doesn't and he sits out, he's saying, I want that extension or I'm not playing football, period. Shout out to Roe in the building. Docs, what's good? Jacobs is not signing. To have Jimmy G with no Jacobs is a grave mistake. And to that, I have to agree with you. You know what I mean? You're bringing in a guy like Jimmy G coming off of a really bad injury, hasn't played in a while, and you want to have one of the greatest run games around him. You do. You want to be able to run the ball heavily and, put the ball in Jimmy G's hands when needed. You know what I mean? Short, intermediate passes. You know what I mean? Run the ball to set up the pass. You know what I mean? That's definitely what you want to do to protect Jimmy G. I'm all for it. But at the end of the day, Ro, they're thinking in their heads, they have, like I said before, a slew of running backs that's going to help Jimmy G regardless. I think we have like 5 or 6 other running backs outside of Josh Jacobs on this roster. It's Amir Abdullah, Brandon Bolden, Britton Brown, Sincere McCormick, Zeus. There's a slew of them. So, I think that they believe in what they have, and that's the reason why they're not trying to give Josh that extension. Shout out to Old School, my dog. If the Raiders don't want to pay Josh more than $10 million, how can they possibly justify paying Jacoby Myers $11 million? And Old School, I understand this. I understand this argument. I'm seeing it a lot on Twitter, Instagram, and all that good stuff. And I hate to say it, and I really, truly do. I hate to say this, Old School, because I love the running back position. I respect the running back position, but let's just keep it a buck. Wide receivers get paid more money. You know what I mean? Wide receiver is a position that all ball clubs look at is way more important than the running back position, especially in today's NFL. I hate to say it. I agree with you. In what world should Jacoby Myers or Hunter Renfrow be getting paid more than Josh Jacobs, right? They shouldn't be. They shouldn't be. Both those guys should not be getting paid more than Josh Jacobs. I totally agree. But the wide receiver position, that's what it is. That's what the market dictates. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. The wide receiver position in today's football means more than a running back position. I have no clue why, you know what I mean? But it's just true. It's just true, man. You look at the Super Bowl winners, you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, they rarely run the ball. These guys pass the ball all over the place, even though they have a generational talent, right? Like Patrick Mahomes. But look at Buffalo. You know what I mean? If they had a run game, they probably would have been to a Super Bowl by now and won one. But their run game is pretty much Josh Allen, right? But they pass the ball a lot. It's pass heavy. It's a different world we're living in now. This is not us growing up in the 90s watching Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, and, you know, the greats run the football, the LaDainian Tomlinsons of the world. You know what I'm saying? This is a totally different NFL where a lot of guys, a lot of ball clubs set up the run with the pass. They pass the ball heavy and you know what I mean? It just is what it is. It's a different world. But I agree with you, Old School. I definitely do. Let me see. The next man up philosophy. Burns dedicated players to a team. I hate that. Such a nightmare for a team devotion. I agree. And we've said this before, and Wasted has said it numerous times, right? You know, we know that Max Crosby, we know that Davante Adams, who was behind Josh Jacobs last year doing this in the video after they won that big game. Davante Adams saying, pay the man, right? I know Max is definitely like, pay Josh. He talked about that at his camp. I know him and Von Miller and Michael Parsons and all of them were having a few conversations on the sideline. And I overheard, you know, a few things about, you know, we need Josh back. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, the superstars want him back. And it's going to be hard to sell to these guys that we're not paying him. We're not giving them that deal. But at the end of the day, it's a business. And I think that Max understands that. I think that Davante Adams understands that. You know, people tend to forget, man, that, you know, Davante Adams comes from a winning culture, right, in Green Bay, but also these guys never went and got offense in the first round or this, you know, the early rounds to help out Davante and Aaron Rodgers, right? He knows this is a business. He understands that what he wants, he's not always going to get. He just got the biggest deal that he's ever had. He's gotten a chance to return to the West Coast, gotten a chance to play with his best friend for a season, right? At the end of the day, you're not going to get everything you want. Yes, you're a superstar, but you're not going to get everything you want. So we just got to sit back and see how this plays out. Let me see. Yeah, bro. Jacob should go with what fits his future best. I'm loyal to my family first. Love my Raiders, but the security of my future in family is forever. Football is what 5 to 7 years max if you're top. Yeah, this is facts. Facts, man. Facts. Shout out to Big Mo. Finding good receivers that are also consistently good every game are harder to find. This is facts. And they went and paid Jacoby Myers, a guy that knows Josh McDaniels' system really well, had a career year under Josh McDaniels in New England a few years back. You know what I mean? They went and got their guy. We have to keep remembering, you guys, that, you know, this regime did not draft Josh Jacobs. They were ready to let him go last year. They had him playing in the Hall of Fame game. Who would have thought the top running back in the league would have played in preseason as much as Josh Jacobs? They didn't pick up the 5th-year option. They were ready to move on from him. They didn't expect him to go out there and explode the way he did last year. Pause if necessary. You know what I mean? So this isn't their guy. Could it become their guy? Yes. Give him the extension that he deserves, and now he's your guy. Definitely. But yeah. Nose ring, y'all. No booger. Nose ring. No booger. Nose ring. No booger. Wipe them feet, y'all. Hit them thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, hit that subscribe button. Shout out to my boy Chuck, man. Very logical. Love Josh Jacobs still. Look, man, I got my 28 right here. I got my jersey right there. Love Josh Jacobs. We have some fun, you know, with them talking about some off-field stuff. And, you know, and we also are just very real about this situation. If you don't look at it from both sides, you know, I'm sorry. I just don't really respect your opinion on this. Like, I'm sorry. You have to look at it from the organization standpoint and look at it from Josh Jacobs' standpoint. I stand on both sides, if that's even possible. I stand with the Raiders. I stand with Josh because I understand both sides. I understand both takes. Josh needs as much guaranteed money as he can because he's a running back. His shelf life is very, very short. He already understands. He's already said it. He wants to retire by the age of 30. He wants to go. You know what I mean? By 30 years old. He understands, you know, I need my money now so I can create some businesses and function after my NFL career is over. And then you look at the Raiders standpoint as, you know, Running backs are very expendable these years. You pay guys like Ezekiel Elliott, then he doesn't perform anymore. You know what I mean? You give Dalvin Cook some nice money, and then, he doesn't play up to what he used to do. The injuries start piling up. You have to look at it from both sides. Quentin Williams just got broke off second largest contract for a DT. This is facts. Facts. Definitely deserved. Another position where it's high in demand. You got to take care of your defensive tackles. I can't wait to the day, Q, that we have a defensive tackle that we take care of, that we pay big time money, top tier money to, because we finally got our guy. I'm hoping that, Matthew Butler, Neil Farrell take the leap this year. I hope that Byron Young becomes that guy in 4 years. We can pay him astronomical amount of money and make him be our cornerstone defensive tackle of the future. I've been waiting forever to be able to pay that top tier money to a defensive tackle. Robbie says Mayer is a better tight end than Waller. Watch. I hope so. But right now we can't say that. We're talking about an all-pro talent, Pro Bowl guy in Darren Waller. Yeah, we have our reservations about him now because the injuries and him seeming as though he did not want to play football. It seems as though that wasn't his passion. You know what I mean? The music and all the other shit, right? But at this point, you have to still say that Darren Waller is better than Michael Mayer. But I agree with the last word, watch. I think you're saying basically at the end of the day, he will end up being better than him, and I agree. AJ, I disagree with you. How is this regime cheap? They made Max Crosby one of the highest paid edge rushers in the world last year. They made Devontae Adams one of the highest paid. He was the highest paid receiver until Tyreek Hill got his new deal. He's the highest paid. He was the highest paid wide receiver. You know what I mean? Like, we just paid Jacoby top dollars to come over and be our slot guy. We paid Hunter Renfrow a shit ton of money to come back. We paid Darren Waller and then got rid of him. We paid Derek Carr and then got rid of him. So I don't agree with this regime being cheap at all. We used all our money in the offseason. What else do you want? Shout out to Gio. Josh McDaniels wants a balanced offense and wasn't happy with the passing game outside of DA. They don't value Josh Jacobs highly because they don't want to be so run heavy regardless of Josh Jacobs' performance. It didn't equal wins, and this is facts. We only won 6 games with Josh Jacobs performing the way he did last year. It wasn't his fault, but you're totally right. Who else was catching the football outside of Devontae Adams? Hunter Renfrow had a down year, dealt with injuries. Mac Hollins was like our wide receiver too. I definitely agree with you. They want to have a more balanced attack, and that's why they went out there and filled that wide receiver room up to the brim. Went out and got Trey Tucker in the 3rd round, got a DeAndre Carter coming off a career year with the Chargers, you know what I mean? And then going out and getting a potential guy like Cam Sims from the Commanders and all these other guys. So I agree with you. They definitely want a more balanced attack, and I think that we're definitely going to pass the ball a lot more this year with hopes that Jimmy G will stay healthy. But, me personally, if you have a Josh Jacobs on your roster, you do want to run the ball to set up the pass because he's a workhorse running back. You know what I mean? That's why I think they want to go more running back by committee, start, getting more getting the running backs more active in the passing game. You know what I mean? Doing more of a committee thing is so they can get the ball more to their outside threats. But I agree with you though, man. I definitely that was a great comment, man. Shout out to Gio, my dog, on a $10 donation. Salute to everybody here in the building, man. Wipe them feet, you guys. Hit them thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, hit that subscribe button, man. Shout out to Gio. Let me see. Daniel says the Bleacher Report is talking about an ultimatum. Let me see what you're talking about, bro. I just seen something along the lines of them suggesting the Raiders could trade him. Let me see. Let me bring this up. Boom. All right, this is from Bleacher Report. Over the past month, Jacobs has posted 2 cryptic tweets that could be constructed as a threat to hold out for a new deal, and that he wants, in his view, a fair shake at the negotiating table. The Raiders don't seem eager to sign Jacobs at a premium price. If that's the case, the two sides may explore trade options. The Raiders selected running back Zamir White, Britton Brown in the 4th and 7th rounds of the 2022 draft, respectively. They re-signed Amir Abdullah, and going back to his time in New England, Brandon Bolden has played under head coach Josh McDaniels for 9 active seasons. In the article, Mo Moten, so Mo was the one that wrote it. Shout out to our dog Mo. You know, Mo's been on the channel a lot. Suggested the Raiders could trade Jacobs to the Jets, who are clearly going all in to win a Super Bowl this year. With Breece Hall coming off of a torn ACL, Jacobs would give them an all-pro back in his prime to pair with Aaron Rodgers, the rest of the weapons on offense. However, it seems pretty far-fetched that the Raiders would actually be able to trade Jacobs. Instead, look for him to play for Las Vegas in 2023 on the franchise tag, which I agree with. That is still the most likely outcome. So there you have it. So I don't know about any ultimatums, Daniel, but yes, Mo did write an article. Shout out to our brother Mo on Bleacher Report talking about a potential trade with Josh Jacobs going to the Jets. But I don't think that they're going to do that. I don't think the Jets are going to do that. I think they like what they have in Breece Hall. I know he's coming off of that injury, but that guy is going to be a dog for a long time. We know that science is different in today's world. These guys heal up a lot more. He's really young. I think they're going to bet on Breece Hall this year. I don't think they're going to trade for Josh Jacobs, especially having to allocate that kind of money to him with wanting an extension. You know what I mean? So I understand why Mo would think that, because like you said, the Jets are going all in, but I definitely can't see that happening. Let me see. Shout out to Kenneth, man. Raider for life from New Jersey. Hey, and keep this. Hey, Kenneth, man, we got some big things coming up on the East Coast. I'm not going to say too much, but I'm just going to say this. We're going to really start creating a whole nother movement in terms of the East Coast. You know, our brothers, Wasted and Hammer, both from New York and New Jersey. I respect what they got going on, but we want to put more eyes on the East Coast Raider Nation fans, man. So stay tuned. We're working on some things behind the scenes where we're going to really, really, really get the East Coast more involved. Because I feel like, I was saying this to Wasted, that I feel like they're like treated like aliens out there, right? Like everybody's Jets fans, Eagles fans, Giants fans. So it's very crazy to see Raider fans in other places outside of California, Nevada, right? The West Coast states. So stay tuned. We're working on some things. Raiders, baby, from South Bend. There you go, Robbie. I'm a Notre Dame fanatic, bro, so I love it. Jets have running backs to ride until Breece Hall is ready. There you go. This is facts. They got Michael Carter Jr. too, Walt, right? The young pup from North Carolina. I was a huge fan of him coming out of that draft. I love Michael Carter. I think he's going to be a dog. That's going to be that could be a sneaky pickup in fantasy football as well, Walt. Michael Carter. Rod Gas, salute to Mexico in the building. Let me see. We travel better than any fan base. This is facts, John. Facts. Jets got Hall on a rookie deal. Why pay Jacobs $10 million for one season? And why even go to the Jets mall, right? Where they're going to do it would have to be an extension. They're not going to pay him $10 million anyway. They'd have to pay him more money. And they would have to give him that, you know what I mean? And look at it like this too. Would it be smart for Josh Jacobs to agree to a trade to go to New York with all that money he would lose in taxes? You live in Las Vegas, a no state tax, you know what I mean? Like this, it makes no sense. You're going to New York and pretty much handing over most of your money. That's why I don't understand why a lot of these guys want to play in California. They want to play in New York. Don't get me wrong. I love both those states. Two of my favorite states. I'm from California, born and raised. But why would you want to do that? You know what I mean? You're pretty much handing over half your money. Let me see. Rich says, Docs, are you happy about the A's move to Vegas? No, man, because that's my last connection to Oakland. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hate that. I hate it. I hate it. I want to move on from the owner. You know what I mean? If we had an owner that cared, if he would allow the Warriors owner to buy the A's and keep us in the Bay and invest in the product, we'd be okay. We'd sell out because A's fans are some of the best fans in the world. We'd sell out games left and right if you learned how to groom talent and keep them there and pay them and take care of them and not just let them go and become all-stars somewhere else. It sucks, man. But for me, as someone that's moving to Vegas, I'm going to be a little selfish, right? I get a chance to go take my sons to Raiders and A's games any chance I get, right? So the selfish side of me being in Vegas full time, I'm going to love it because I literally me and my wife get to go to A's games during the day. I was talking about that, like them being at school and going to an A's game during the day. Babe, let's just go to an A's game and kick it, have a few beers and hang out. That's beautiful. But, you know, I get a chance to take my kids to games year in and year out and just drive up the street. I love it. I love it. Let me see. Salute to everybody in the building, man. Rich, I could definitely see that, but the owner is an asshole, man. Lil Tiger, he would never go to New Orleans. I think a lot of people tend to forget that they just went out and got another running back in free agency that they paid that came over from Detroit, right? They got Kamara still. Like they have a bunch of running backs in New Orleans. I get the Raider connection. I get the Derek Carr connection and, Abram being over there, Foster being over there, so on and so forth. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. They already full. They have a full running back room out there in New Orleans. Simple and plain. Let me see. With Josh in the backfield, defenses have to play honest football. We all know Devontae is getting double high and low. Our tight ends should have a great season. This is facts. Facts. Facts, Maul. Jamal Williams. Twin. But this is facts. Our tight ends are definitely going to have a great year. And guess what? Jimmy G is phenomenal with tight ends. He is. And I mean that in a funny way and a pause-worthy way as well. Think about that. He is great with tight ends. The Bunny Ranch, George Kittle. Yeah. Works out. Jimmy G's going to have a phenomenal year throwing the ball to Michael Mayer, Hooper, and Jesper. And even if OJ, if Howard makes this roster, he may get some burn as well. Keelan, we will not trade him to the Broncos. We would not trade Jacob. We're not going to trade Jacobs, period. But if we did, we're not going to keep him in the division. There's no way in hell. Jimmy G string is all about the tight end development. Talk that talk. Rich, I agree too. I think Jacoby Myers is going to have a really good season. Wayne, this is what happened pretty much. Josh had an interview with Fox 5, I believe, out in Las Vegas yesterday. He's back in Vegas. He had a youth camp yesterday at Sierra Vista High School where he said he's in the best shape of his life. Feels really good. First off season where his body feels like he's ready to go. He didn't really feel any bumps and bruises from last season. He's healthy, right? But also the interviewer from Fox 5 said that she spoke to his camp, and they said that if he is not signed to an extension by Monday, by the deadline, 1 p.m., he will be sitting out. He will not be reporting to camp. So there you have it. That is the update, that he will not be reporting to camp come Monday if an extension is not done by then. And I'm going to be honest, you guys, it's Thursday. Why would the Raiders wait until 2 or 3 days prior to the deadline to try and get something done? I just, wouldn't it have been smart to try and get something done if you wanted to do this, right? This is why I feel this regime is not doing anything. I think it's just a franchise tag or nothing, because Saquon is coming out saying that there's reports of him coming out saying that he wouldn't take $13 million. He wants 16, right? Isn't this the time to try and get something done with Josh before Saquon maybe does accept something where it's 14 to 15 million a year, right? Because then how do you sell that to Josh Jacobs' camp? A guy like Saquon Barkley who's dealt with injuries his whole career, right? But he's really good in the passing game, really can run the ball effectively, really good, actually, a top-tier running back when healthy. But I would assume you would try and get something done before Saquon Barkley, because apparently this guy's asking for an astronomical price tag. You know what I'm saying? So I would assume you would try and get something done before then. That's why I feel as though there's nothing out there. It's either franchise tag or bust. You know what I mean? So, but I don't know. Who am I? Gio says, I'm going to be honest. I don't know what the hell to expect from this team, but I'm excited to see how this roster is shaping up and what direction / style of football we're going to play moving forward. Facts, bro. Facts, man. Facts. And, this is the thing, you guys. We're at a point, right, in football where it's kind of difficult to really have very, very high expectations for your team if they don't have a generational talent at the quarterback position. Let's just be honest, right? We all fought for Derek Carr year in and year out. We thought he would take that next step, especially with the offensive mind like Josh McDaniels around. We thought it could happen. But let's just keep it a buck. If you don't have a top-tier quarterback, can we ever really expect for this team to go out there and have the expectations be Super Bowl. No, you can't. You can't. You got to kind of just sit back and play and let this thing play out. We don't have a Patrick Mahomes. Chiefs fans expect to win it every year. Buffalo Bills fans, they expect to be in the hunt every year with Josh Allen. You know, with Baltimore giving Lamar Jackson, and when he's healthy, they're always in the playoffs. They're a perennial playoff team. You know what I mean? They're expecting high. They have high expectations. They have high expectations with Lamar Jackson there and with probably the best receiving unit they've had ever since he's been there. We don't have a Joe Burrow. You know what I mean? We don't have, you know, these type of guys, the Hurts of the world. We don't. We truly don't. So I understand why some Raider fans' expectations are very, very low, right? I understand it. Don't get me wrong. You know, Jimmy G has been to a Super Bowl with the Niners. They lost, but it was a very close game. He's been in some NFC championship games. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. Jimmy G is a winner, but also we have to build that defense the way the Niners did it. And up to this point, I don't know if we can. I don't know if we can. So that's why I'm excited to see if Aiden O'Connell is going to be that guy of the future. You know what I mean? I'm excited to see, you know what I mean, if we can get one of those sleeper QBs next year in the draft and continue to build that quarterback room up and see if we got something there. But and I also understand why a lot of fans are like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong, as a Raider fan, you want to win games, but it's like, I understand why you're looking at Caleb Williams next year, right? You're looking at Drake Mays. You know what I'm saying? You're looking at these guys, you're saying, wow, man, we could have one of these potential guys, right? Fuck it. Lose out this year. I don't want to do that. I want to win. I want to win. And I think this team is already on paper too good to even lose enough games to even be in the hunt for Caleb Williams or a Drake May. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to probably have to take a flyer on another guy with potential. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not going to happen. We're not going to be in the fold with Caleb Williams, you guys. It's not going to happen. It's not. It's not. We're too good of a team to even be drafting in the top 3. And, you know, I just don't know what kind of team we're going to be, but I really, truly don't think that we're going to be anywhere near, you know, to go get those guys. And let's just assume that we have a top 10 pick again, right? These guys are so highly like looked at, Caleb Williams and Drake May, that I don't think that any team drafting in the top 3, unless they have already their generational talent, right? And you're not really going to see a top 3 team already have that generational talent at the quarterback position. But no one's going to take what you can offer. No one's going to take a multiple firsts and all that if they think that Caleb Williams is going to be the guy or Drake May is going to be the guy for the foreseeable future. You know what I mean? Like, there's not going to be a trade package good enough to trade up to go get a quarterback like that from another a QB, a needy team. NFL is different now. They understand you need a generational talent at the QB position. It's just not going to happen. It sucks, man, because it's like, I feel like we're too good to get one of those talents, but you know what I mean? But we're still on the cusp of being a bad team because we're coming off of being 6-11 last year. So we're still, it's funny, right? We always said, let's move on from Derek Carr because we're stuck in mediocrity. Well, it kind of feels like at this point, I don't know where we're going to go this season, but we're still kind of stuck in purgatory, right? We don't know. So look, that's why my expectations are ceiling 10-11 wins. I still have a basement of 7 games. I still think we're good enough to win 7 games. You know what I mean? Shout out to my brother Intel in the building, man. Salute to my dog, bro. And, hey, my apologies as well, bro, with the delay with your bottle. I was going through some things, but my brother, I promise you, salute to my dog Intel, man. Your bottle will be out there shortly, my brother. Shout out to my bro Intel, man. Love my dog Intel, man. Let me see. Shout out to Raider Nation 609 in the building. Yeah, we would have to move up. Shout out to Vengeance. And you know what? If he does, salute to him. I respect anyone taking a stance, man, for the future and the future of that position, the betterment of that position. I salute that, man. If Josh really stands up this year and says, I don't care what anybody else does. I don't care if Saquon Barkley takes the franchise tag. I don't care what anybody else does. I don't care if Dalvin Cook takes $3-4 million to go play for Miami. I'm not doing it. I'm sitting out for the betterment of the position. And, you know, I want to set it up. I would love that. Would it hurt our team? Definitely. But I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be okay with all the running backs that we have. I think we'll be okay. But I would respect that so much, bro. I would respect that so much if Josh really sat out and said, I'm not playing. I would respect that, man. I do. I rock with anybody that stands firm on their principles and what they represent. I've heard some things like that too. Well, Caleb Williams listed at 6'1", heard some say at 5'11". I've heard, you know, conflicting reports. And I'm going to have my guy that does a USC show here soon. I'm going to have him on the channel. We'll talk to him about Caleb Williams. Well, we're going to have my guy on here shortly, and we're going to pick his brain about some of those USC guys. Mondo says, who's your top 5 worst teams in the NFL? That's a good question, man. That is a good question. At this point, I got the Colts. I think the Texans are going to be sneaky. I think the Texans are going to be sneaky, you guys. I don't know why. You know, they went and got a good head coach, a defensive-minded guy. They had a great draft. They went and got C.J. Stroud, which Denzel Perriman told me straight up, you guys, C.J.'s the truth. He told me. I literally went up to him and said, how do you feel about him? He said, bro, he's the truth. And he said, Will Anderson is phenomenal. So I got a feeling the Texans are going to be better than advertised. But I got the Colts. I got the Titans. I think they're going to be bad this year. You know, I hope our boy Jeff, you know, Jeff stands out. You know what I mean? Shout out to my brother Paul. But I just think that offense is going to be bad this year. Titans. Another team I think is going to be pretty bad. The Cardinals. Maybe even the Rams. Maybe the Rams. Mondo, because and there's a lot of rumblings that they may move on from Aaron Donald if they start off slow. If they start off 2-5 or 0-5 or some crazy shit, they can potentially move on from Matthew Stafford and Aaron Donald and go into full rebuild mode. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say the Bears, Dan. I think they got better this year with all that money they spent in free agency. They had a really good draft. I'm not going to go Bears. I think they're going to be a sneaky team too. I think they can win maybe 6 to 7 games. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's not a great season for them, but it's better. I think Tampa's going to be okay, Mystic. I think they're going to run the ball a lot. I think the defense is going to still be good, but I'm not going to say they're going to be great by any stretch. But I think they're going to be underrated as well. But, you know, Baker Mayfield is good to make some terrible mistakes for them. So you never know. Who else? Who else? I have a feeling. I think the Falcons are going to be good, AJ. They have a great running attack. I think they're going to run the ball heavy. I think their young tight end is going to get it together this year. They got some good receiving options. You know what I mean? The young guy at USC a few years ago they drafted, I was high on. I think Atlanta's going to be good. I think Green Bay is going to be terrible. There you go, Blacks Mob. I think Green Bay is going to be a bad team. I think the Commanders, Austin, are going to be a bad team. There you go. I think right there. I think there it goes right there. You know what I mean? The Packers, the Titans, the Colts, the Commanders, and potentially the Cardinals or Rams. I think the Cardinals for sure are going to be drafting in the top 3. And that may be a team that we keep an eye on, Q, because that's one team that potentially doesn't need a quarterback, right? Kyler Murray, they got him. They just signed him to a crazy, massive extension. That's their quarterback of the future. If they're top 3, they may listen to some trade talks. They may say, we don't need Caleb Williams. We have Kyler Murray. That's something I'm a monitor all year long is the Cardinals. Because if we can somehow, some way give up a lot of future first and give us some talent to go get that potential first pick from the Cardinals, that is definitely a team to monitor and keep an eye on. I'd hate for Williams to be around. That would suck, bro. And the story writes itself, right? Stays in LA, goes down the street from USC, you know what I mean, to the Rams. That the story writes itself. I could definitely see that. My brother Big Mike said the Commanders will have the number 1 pick next year. You heard it here first. Okay. I'm gonna have my brother, man, my bro come on. He covers the Commanders. I've done a few lives with him. I'm gonna have him come on shortly, and we're gonna do a cross brand that we do every year, and I'm gonna talk to him about what they got going on over there as well. Shout out to my sis. I see my sis Hannibal in the building. So proud of you. Love you, brother. Love you too, sis. Shout out to my sis Hannibal, man. Shout out to my brother Maul, always supporting the channel, man. Colts, Cardinals, Texans. See, I think the Panthers are going to be good, man. They still have that really good defense. They went out and got some sneaky pickups in free agency. Miles Sanders, you know what I mean? Then we got DJ Chark. If he can stay healthy, maybe he can look good for them. You know, they still got Terrence Marshall over there. They got some things over there in the Panthers. The Panthers are going to be a sneaky team to watch in that division. I think the Saints will win it. They have the most talent, but the Panthers and Falcons, keep an eye on those teams. They could be sneaky. We're picking in the top 3. Don't need it to tank to get a quarterback. Also, no rookie QB ain't going into Arrowhead and beating 3 Hall of Famers. Build the defense. Now, if the Texans shit the bed, great. CJ Stroud, they already got their guy. The Cardinals shit the bed, great. The Colts shit the bed, great. If those 3 teams are sitting there, and the Panthers 4, that would be phenomenal for us, because then we can say, okay, we seen what Jimmy G provided. It wasn't enough. We see what Aiden O'Connell did in preseason, or maybe he even came in and played a few games because Jimmy G shit the bed. It wasn't enough. Maybe we monitor those 4 teams and hopefully they're right there in that top 5 somewhere. Let's hope. Let me see. Oh yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr. is definitely going in the top. He might be a top 3 guy. If Caleb and Drake May weren't there, Marvin Harrison could be potentially the number 1 guy in that draft. I'm telling y'all now, he is the next best wide receiver coming out of college. I'm telling y'all that right now. He is the next best thing. Marvin Harrison Jr., that bloodline is real. That dude's going to be a monster at the next level. And I hope he goes to a team that already has a QB there so he can start off his career fast, because he's going to be a dog. True, I can see the Cards getting Harrison Jr. after D-Hop is gone. There you go. I could see it. You know, they got Hollywood Brown over there. You get Harrison Jr. That'd be nice. They got the young pup too, from Purdue as well, right? I think they drafted the young pup out of Purdue a few years back. They got some receiving options out there. You know what I mean? In Arizona, they got to build that O-line up and build that defense back up. You see, the Lions are definitely on the move. Salute to everybody here in the building, man. Wipe them feet, y'all. Hit them thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, hit that subscribe button. Marvin Harrison Jr. is the best player in the 2024 draft, regardless of position. I agree with you, Q. I agree completely. Richard, it's not going to happen. Tay will be a Raider for the 4th. Yes, Rondale Moore. Young, that was my guy. Coming out of college, man. That's my guy. Tay's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. Who do you have on playing first in the preseason? AO4 or Chase? Chase Carpet. I got Chase coming in first. I do. I got Chase coming in playing, first half, and I got AO closing out the game. That's what I got. I don't think you're going to see any OG out there. I don't think Hoyer's going to get any burn. I think it's really, truly going to be Chase Garbers and Aiden O'Connell out there most of the time. And I think that Chase will get the first half, and I think that AO will get the second half. Chase is coming into his second year. He's a little more adapted to the speed, so to speak, of the NFL, right? I think they're going to have AO kind of play more of the 3rd, 4th stringers later in the game. I think that's where we're going to go. The way we're going to go. Let me see. Oh, we're going to be doing a lot of mock drafts early on. That's just how we do. Walt, we talked about that last night, bro. Go back to the Graphk and Stu show last night. We talked about the Hall of Fame before the stream was rudely interrupted and got cut off. But we were talking about the Hall of Fame all last night. I would like to draft a big name linebacker next year. Postman, I definitely would too, bro. Definitely. Mystic says, hey, Docs, off topic. What are your thoughts on your Kings new jerseys? They ditched the purple. I love them. I'm about to buy each one of them. I love it. And we didn't ditch the purple completely, brother. We didn't completely do it. We got the white jerseys. But let me show you. I'm going to show you something real quick. We didn't ditch them completely. These are the city jerseys, completely purple. Them shits are fire. Fire. Shout out to Malik Monk. Those are fire. So we didn't completely ditch the purple look. the AO4 to the Wolves in the preseason. I want to see him out there a lot. I'm not a fan of Chase Garbers at all. Like, to be honest with you, I wouldn't even waste me personally, I wouldn't even waste a practice squad spot on Chase Garbers. Like, at all. Like, this dude, I get, last year he looked okay in preseason. There was a few times where he used his legs and, the nation was a little excited and so on and so forth. No, I wouldn't waste a roster spot on him. Get him out of here. I watched him at Cal. That guy is not him at all. At all. Move on from Chase Garbers. If you're going to keep 3 QBs, you got Hoyer, the OG, that's going to help, Jimmy G get back to this system. You got Hoyer that's going to help AO, with the system as well. Those are the guys. Garbers is ass. I'm sorry, bro. Garbers is ass. Look, asparagus, bro. That's look, I can't even say there's no disrespect, right? Because that's all disrespect. But I'm just not a fan of Garbers at all. Salute to everybody here in the building, man. Shout out to Q. He said, Chase, don't sleep. Future Hall of Famer. Hell nah. I like that. Eric. Forget big names. I want big game players. Raider Nation for life. I respect that, brother. I respect that. I just want winners. I want proven winners. And we said this a million times on this channel, Eric. I love what they did. In this draft. They went out and got a bunch of leaders, a bunch of captains. Chris Smith, leader of that Georgia Bulldogs national championship, 2 of them. Leader, captain on that team. I didn't know, looking in, that Trey Tucker, captain for Cincinnati. Byron Young, I think Byron Young was a captain on that defense as well with Alabama. Michael Mayer, captain. Tyree Wilson, captain. Went out and got a bunch of leaders that are definitely going to help build this culture up into what it's going to be in the near future. I'm excited. I'm telling y'all now, you guys, this draft that we just had is going to be humongous for the city of Las Vegas and this franchise and this fan base in Raider Nation, man. These guys are going to set the table for the foreseeable future. This is going to be the changing of the guard with this draft. Forget all those bust drafts we had in the past. This is going to be the draft that's going to help us transition into the future. I'm telling you now, we got a bunch of leaders in the locker room, a bunch of guys that don't have a lot of outside distractions. We didn't bring in motherfuckers that are focused on rapping or this or that. We brought in guys that are dogs and love the game of football. I'm telling you now, this is going to go down as one of the greatest drafts in Raider Nation history, and at least the best draft in the Las Vegas era. Clear cut. I'm telling you that now. Mark my words. And if I'm wrong, you can kill me a few years down the line. Just absolutely destroy me on a live stream. But I totally agree that this is the foundation. The foundation was set this year. And a few players last year as well. Dylan Parham. Maybe Neil Farrell this year. A few guys may help set the table as well. But this draft, this is the one. This is the one. Let me see. 9 to 8 wins is respectable. Yeah, definitely, Johnny. Definitely. I definitely agree with you. Jeremiah says, if we can get our defense right, doesn't matter how good our offense can be. Yeah, man, look, we're still running on the idea of leaning on our offense to win his games. You just look on the paper right now, right? Don't get me wrong. I think this defense got a lot better this year, but we're not going to see it until football comes around. But right now, if we had to just look at it, we're still leaning heavily on the offensive side of the ball. We went out there, got a bunch of new wide receivers, brought all our running backs back, brought our offensive line back. We're still leaning heavily on the idea that the offense can get it done for us. You know what I mean? So, but this defense is going to be different. There's going to be more sacks, pause if necessary. We're going to have a shit ton of them this year. We're going to have more turnovers. There's going to be more playmakers. My bad, y'all. My nose ring just keep coming out my nose. I don't know what the hell's going on. My allergies are killing me. But there's going to be more playmakers this year. I'm telling you now, Nate Hobbs is going to have a career year. He's going to get his hand on the ball a lot more. INTs. I'm hoping Merrick, gets it done this year. I hope Divine Diablo is a guy that really, really does some things. And another guy, I want to read this real quick. Shout out to our guy, Scout, right? Shout out to our guy Scout. I want to read this real quick. Another guy that not a lot of us are talking about. Let me see. Drake Thomas, our UDFA out of North Carolina State. I'm going to read this tweet, and I'm gonna get Scout on the show here soon as well. Drake Thomas plays so much like Denzel Perryman. It's crazy. Both are 5'11", 235. Thomas ran a 4.68 40, Perryman a 4.78. Both with identical 10 splits at the 163. Thomas out-jumped Perryman, both broad and vertical. Instincts, blitzing, run defense, tackling, range, all nearly identical. Thomas is undersized. He's slightly limited based on athleticism, but he's a natural player. And there's one guy to watch, is probably him. Most productive blitz linebacker in maybe college football history. I repeat, maybe the most productive blitz linebacker in maybe college football history. He's going to make the roster, and he probably will start. I like that from our brother Scout. He also says, just another fun comparison. College production. Drake Thomas, 45 games played, 292 total tackles, 46 tackles for loss, 19 sacks, you guys. Drake Thomas in 45 games played, 19 sacks, 4 interceptions, 8 pass breakups, 2 TDs, 91 pressures, 148 stops, 77.7 QBR allowed. Go against Denzel Perryman's 48 games played in college, right? Compared to 45. He had 4.5 sacks compared to 19 with Drake Thomas. 69 stops compared to 148, 88.5 QBR allowed, 4 pass breakups, 9 pressures, 2 picks compared. Oh, they both had 4 picks compared to 2 picks. So Drake Thomas, keep an eye on that. Look at that in college. 45 games played, 292 total tackles, 46 for loss, 19 sacks in 45 games. This was a guy, you guys, we were talking about a lot in the offseason that we would have loved to go get out of North Carolina State. A guy that is probably going to help this roster out immediately. I've been said it, and Scout hit it on the head as well. He's not the most athletic guy, but look at those stats. He is a ball player. So now we understand a little more, right? Why we kind of just let Denzel move on and go to the Texans, sign that 2-year deal, I believe. He is up there in age. What is he, 29, 30 years old? We love Denzel, right? But we went and got a guy as a UDFA, a much cheaper option that's going to make this roster and is going to be a dog for us at the next level. I'm excited about seeing Drake. I didn't even know that he had that. I knew he had production, but looking at it, it's like I didn't even know he had that kind of production in college. It's insane, man. That's insane, man. Yeah, I'm not going off of Nutsack Sports, Hawk. They be on there trolling like crazy on Twitter, man. Shout out to LV, my dog. Raider fans, NFL Network has all kind of Raider shows all day. Hit the record button. Shout out to my brother LV, man. Shout out to Beavers. Damn, Drake Thomas, real sleeper. There you go. Shout out to Bernard. What up, Doc? Stay cool. Yeah, bro. It's supposed to be 100. And I'm going to go out and take my son to go play. It's excessive heat warning where I live. It's going to be 104 degrees today. I'm still taking my son out to play some football. We got to get some cone work in today. I think that Drake Thomas is going to be totally better than Miles Burris, Mike. And I'm going to start working on trying to get Miles Burris on the show. I know he's been kind of trying to get back into the Nation. He just started a Nation clothing line on his Instagram. I'm going to reach out to Miles Burris and see if he wants to jump on the pod and come talk some football. Dan says, how many UDFAs make the team? I think Drake Thomas does. I think McClendon Curtis does. I'm betting on Adam Plant Jr. as well. Those are my 3 guys that I'm really high on that I think will make this roster. So Adam Plant Jr., he's just, the measurables is there. The production is there. He's already getting high praise from Max and Chandler Jones. McClendon Curtis, you guys know I've been high on him the whole time out of Tennessee. What is it? Tennessee Chattanooga. And our guy Drake Thomas. Those are my 3 guys that I think will make this roster. And then we'll have some other guys that'll be on the practice squad. Dalton Wagner out of Arkansas. What is he, 6'9", offensive lineman. I think we'll develop him a little bit on the practice squad. But I think we're going to have a few guys that do actually make the active roster, and I got 3 of them. Let me see. Severe, I agree. We can't just look at college production exclusively. I understand that, but I didn't know that his production popped out like that. Like, that's crazy. Like, he really had a lot. He got a lot done at the collegiate level. Walt has only the UDFAs making a practice squad. Okay. But yeah, man, we're an hour in, you guys. I know we're 300 deep in the chat. I'm going to give you guys one more heads up on what's going on with Josh Jacobs. He tweeted out yesterday. I'll show you guys real quick. Tweeted out last night. Lord, thank you, forever grateful. He had a camp out there in Las Vegas at Sierra Vista High School yesterday. It seems as though it was a great camp. He was very, very happy by the turnout. It seems like he's on a high right now. He had an interview with Fox 5 yesterday, where he said that this is the most healthiest he's been, not really coming off any bumps and bruises last year. That says a lot because he's coming off a career year where he's just completely healthy. He's ready to go. He looks explosive out there on the football field right now. Everybody was saying, but they also came out, Fox 5, and said that they spoke to his team, and they said that if a deal is not done by Monday, he will be sitting out. Period, point blank, the end. So if a deal is not done by the deadline, 1 p.m. Monday for the franchise tag, he will not be signing it, and he will be sitting out. He will not be going to training camp. So that is the update. It sounds as though Josh is standing on what he believes in, and more power to him. More power to him. Let me read this super real quick. Is there any plans for a show on year 2? What he's learned or regressed on? Yes, we're definitely going to put that together, John. That was definitely a great idea. It's going to take some time to put that together because I want to actually compare rosters and kind of go from that. But it's kind of difficult because the NFL was so different back then, right? It was just so different. But we're going to try and put something together. Give me some time, brother. We're going to work on it behind the scenes and try and come up with a comparison show with that. But yeah, you guys, love you guys as always. Hit the link up top if you want to become a member. One of the best ways to support the channel. OakLosVegas.com. New clothes online. Go get the Jimmy Hub t-shirts. They're flying off the shelves right now. Shout out to everybody supporting the Jimmy Hub t-shirts. Go to OakLosVegas.com for that. We have some great interviews lined up here in the next week or so. I think Cody was calling me about one. So I'm going to call him back here shortly. We got a bunch of great things coming up, you guys. Football is right around the corner. July 20th, rookies report to rookie training camp. July 25th, the veterans will be reporting to training camp. And then we have football, you guys. We are back. We are moving. We are grooving. The only thing left is this whole Josh Jacobs saga. And we'll know a lot more by Monday where we are going with this whole situation. With that being said, love you guys. Appreciate you guys. We will be back shortly, maybe tonight. Who's to say? But love y'all, man. Wipe them feet on the way out, and make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Oh, and the game show is on the way. I want to say that. I seen Rich says, when is the debate show? We're going to save that for week 1. We're going to save it for after week 1. We're going to do it all season long. We're going to do like a pardon the interruption / around the horn type show. It'll be ready for week 1. So stay tuned. We're working out the kinks behind the scene. As I said before, love y'all. Appreciate y'all. I'm out. 1.
That's what I'm talking about.